Faeries Tales by Brian and Wendy Froud is a book that I've been saving as a special treat. My family are away on holiday, and I thought that I would finally allow myself the treat. And last night I set aside about 3 hours and treated myself to some time alone with this wonderful book. It's very large. It's the same size as his Trolls book, if you've encountered that, and it's just enormous. Here's my hand next to it. Yeah, very, very large. Now, what can I tell you about it? Why is it called Faeries Tales, first of all, rather than Fairy Tales, right? So first of all, you'll notice the AE, which is the spelling which is allegedly preferred by the little folk. But also it's S apostrophe, as in the possessive form of the plural of fairies. So it's the tales that belong to the fairies rather than tales that are fairy-like in any way or that are about fairies. These are the tales from the point of view of the fairies. And the Frouds have done something quite lovely here. Let me show you a little bit the outside of the book first of all, before I go into any further detail. This is the cover that you get on the inside of this dust cover. Very, very nice. Yeah. So these are just illustrations from inside, and the whole book is laid out as a story. It starts over here. Here's just an introduction, actually, by Brian Froud, which is fascinating, actually, about an artist called, I didn't pick up his name, is one of the pre-Raphaelites, Watts. There we go, Frederick Watts. George Frederick Watts, I beg your pardon. And he's talking about a portrait that he made of William Morris. And I looked up the portrait, and it's amazing. These little, hard to say what they are, in fact, just dashes of white here and there that sure enough do, in fact, when you think about it, look just like fairies. And then the story starts, and it's about this little family of fairies who approach Brian and Wendy Froud, explaining that their entire court has forgotten about their own stories, and so they approached Brian and Wendy Froud, and actually they're called dusters. So what they do is that they go around the world and they dust off people's minds so that they can think clearly once again. It's very sweet. And they pick up the stories of the fairies, who then recognize their own stories and actually can give their own accounts of what their stories was from their own point of view. So then we get the stories from the point of view of different fairies. So you get a portrait, and sometimes you get just a very little snippet, and sometimes you get a full story. Here's this first one is about the fairy from the Sleeping Beauty, and always these portraits are absolutely gorgeous. Some of them are very human, some of them are very alien. Invariably, the stories are interesting. Some of them are very profound and moving. Some of them are very whimsical. So this is the bad fairy from Cinderella, not Cinderella, from Sleeping Beauty, and this is the good fairy who saved the young princess's life. Then we've got Puck, Puck looking very puckish. And the accompanying text, by all means, pause the video, is just very you get a very good feel for the character of these fairies. There you go. Some fairies are better known than others. This is the fairy who leaves changelings instead of babies. You can see how the disproportionate ratio of her face makes her look very ethereal. As I say, some look quite human, and some of the stories are developed over several pages, and others are just little ditties like this. So it goes on like this for some pages, and then the approach changes. As the fairy godmother from Cinderella, who's giving her own account of being called up, and not always feeling like giving in to her godchildren's whimsies is not always the best thing to do. So there we go. And then we break back into the story, into the main arc of the story of what's going on at the fairy world, where these fairies are starting to remember their own stories and things like this. And then there's a slightly different approach. A lot of these 3D. Not CGI, not computer generated, but 3D installations by Wendy Froud, which are incorporated as well. Looking very beautiful, with all of course integrated with these really nice background images. Little sprites coming in and out of view. And then, so then in the second part, you start getting stories not of the fairies themselves, but of the objects that they care about. And you have all these whimsical little trinkets that they have, and the stories that go with them. So there we go. So that should really give you an idea of the kind of book that this is. It's a real delight to sit with and experience. Yeah. There's Mother Goose right there. Fantastic. There we go. All right. So that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to leave a like. It really helps me out. And to subscribe if you haven't already. I have these videos coming out on a relatively regular basis. And thank you ever so much for your time and for watching. And I'll see you very soon with another video. Take care. See you.